Okay, so this is a play from the scrimmage. This is Archbishop Wood against Pennsbury High School this past weekend for the first scrimmage of the season. And at quarterback here we have Jack Collier from Archbishop Wood. And this is a play that I wanted to take a look at and break down a little bit. It's a pretty simple completion that Jack makes here. But as a takeaway for me is, taking a look at and coaching quarterbacks, training quarterbacks, there's a little more depth to the play that I'd like to sort of pull back, if you will. So first, taking a look as Wood lines up here, they got a slot down bottom, tight end flanker up top, and they're going to send that flanker in motion coming from the top of the screen down towards that tight end position. And if you look at Pennsbury's defense here, the one indicator I talk about for quarterbacks when trying to recognize coverage is just in terms of one thing specifically when we're looking at zone or man. I guess two things specifically. First, it's the depth of the corners and could be safety, strong safety, or linebackers as they're lined up on a receiver. And then the second thing is their eyes. So traditionally in any kind of zone coverage, defensive backs, they are usually coached to have their eyes in the backfield and see the quarterback, see the action, and then weave or pedal to their respective zone. When it's man coverage, their job is to never take their eyes off their man and not ever to peek in the backfield. So when they come up to the line of scrimmage here and Jack takes a look, he should be able to recognize man coverage pretty much right away. Now, the second indicator, which is a good one for quarterbacks, is Wood sends a guy in motion. As soon as you send somebody in motion and you see a defender follow, that's another automatic trigger for you that's probably man coverage. Now again, none of these things can be predetermined before the snap of the ball, and you have to have the ability to sort of react to what the defense does as the play unfolds. Basically, you try to determine, before the snap what you think is going to happen, and then as the ball is snapped, decide, well, does it hold true, or are they doing something different? So in this case, what looks to be man coverage, I'll run the play here, is in fact man coverage. So let's go back a little further. As we said, notice the corner safety, corner up top, their depth, okay? Under 5 yards off. First indicator that it's probably man. The second thing is, as I mentioned, their vision, which appears to be locked on, okay? The third thing is, with the nature of the play, we see motion occurring. Once motion occurs, the corner up top is going to run with the motion guy. Okay, and that's exactly what happens. So the route is, you have these two receivers down bottom. They are running deeper routes, and you see the defenders turn and run with them. So that's clearing things out quite a bit. Now the flanker who's coming down in motion from up top, we're talking about right here. Okay, he comes in motion, and he works his way all the way across the field, across the formation. Again, the idea of man coverage, if you have a crossing route like this, that's a huge positive for the quarterback, because that crossing route, just as you see, this defender gets caught up in the wash, as we say. So this corner up top is trying to run with this flanker receiver who's coming in motion, and as soon as the ball is snapped, that backer that you see up top there, he is also running with the tight end. And then there's a pretty good collision that takes place as that corner is trying to get around his own player. And in doing so, that's where this receiver comes open. Now, all that is just the design of the play and the recognition for the quarterback. Then we take a look at the quarterback himself, the mechanics of the throw. We see some pressure coming down bottom. This defensive end basically beats the offensive tackle to our quarterback here, Jack Collier, to his left. Now, with that being said, Jack is very patient and does not get skittish in the pocket. He stays in there. He really doesn't have a great base set to throw the ball. And one thing we do see him do is what we call set the hallway, which means your stride foot, in this case Jack's front left foot, needs to land to the left of really the direction in which his receiver is going. So you see his path That's where his foot is set to, which is what you want. You want to set your foot, your toe, to where that receiver is going versus where he's currently at. And that allows us the ability to have our hips clear through as we drive with our lower half. Now, as I mentioned, Jack doesn't have a ton of base on this throw because the pressure doesn't really allow that to come through. But the one thing he does is he does not make himself throw across his body. By setting his hallway open, as he does, see, you can see that he sets that stride foot open to the left and allows himself to come through nice and clean with his upper body mechanics. And you'll see here what we call elbow lead. The throwing elbow should be ahead of the football, which is exactly what you see, which allows him nice extension through on the throw. And again, this is not an overly challenging throw in terms of the distance. You see it's about a 10-yard throw, but there's pressure in his face. You got somebody coming right in on you. I do believe the down and distance was third down, but it's great recognition, and he made the correct read as far as who to throw the ball to rather quickly. So this is an excellent job by Jack, and I'll let the play run through one more time. You see it here, and that is a great conversion. Good stuff there by Jack Collier and Archbishop Wood.